Okay, make sure as we're talking about this, you don't focus on the problem. The next retake's all different again. Do not focus on the problem. Focus on the ideas that I'm going to have you make flashcard memories of. That's how you get better and better at solving AP problems. So when you open a test and you start reading this, you're going to read the function f. You stop there, make sure you're thinking f, not f prime, is given by this. You don't spend any time thinking about the formula because it doesn't usually help. Just keep going. The figure above shows a portion of the graph of f. Good, I know this is f. I might even add an extra label so I don't forget. So far I have not accessed any flashcard memories. I'm just reading the problem. Which of the following could be the values of the constants a and b? Okay, at that moment, my brain is telling me I don't have a clue what to do. Because I'm like, they didn't even ask, like, they didn't give me anything. Okay? I pay bonus points for retake prep as well. So I got to go back to 2 though instead of 4 because I will see you more often perhaps. So 2 for Ella. Perfect Ella Randall, right? Everybody moves seats and everything, different class grades, it's all masked and moving. Okay. No, 2 points. Ella's nodding her head, there's 2 more. So I have to go searching for what they did give me. What they gave me was this picture, and from the picture I noticed 2 key things. As you're taking the test, I talked to someone who took the test completely, they didn't print it out. They just looked at the screen and tried to take notes. Don't do that for this class. Like, print it out. Okay, it's a huge difference to have the paper in front of you, I guarantee it. You should be writing on your paper. If this is not written on your paper, write it down now. I look at that and I see immediately F has horizontal asymptote at y equal 3. Like, I see that they actually did give me a clue. The clue was in the picture. 2 more for Ella. That's why you should make lots of, just any feedback you talk to me, I say your name endlessly because I can't get it out of my head. Sorry for being obnoxious. Okay. But her comment is perfect. You've just got to learn to say, I'm going to look at lots of problems and I won't know what to do. But rather than just give up, I just keep looking, I'll find a clue. I found a clue. Okay, this clue must trigger a flashcard memory. Okay, it's got to trigger a flashcard memory. So you're going to make a flashcard that on one side says F has a horizontal asymptote of y equal 3. Do that. Ellie's like, oh, there's a bug. I can't get him out of the thing. So you're good. You're good. I leave them in a little sleeve just because I thought it might keep things more organized, but if they don't last for very long, then they'll fall apart, but whatever. Okay, so write that on one side. F has horizontal asymptote at y equal 3. Because what's going to happen is there will be future problems where you will see, like, it won't necessarily be a picture, it might be words, I don't know, but it's going to be something that will tell you F has a horizontal asymptote of y equal 3. You're going to go, bam, I've practiced my flashcards so much, I know exactly what that means. That means this. This is what you should write on the back. The limit, as x approaches infinity, could be negative infinity, by the way. That doesn't happen very often, but I kind of make a little note just in case, like that. Of f must also be 3. They are one and the same. That should be on the back of your flashcard. Question? It actually would be a good idea to go through your flashcards the other way sometimes. Seriously. Like looking at this side first. Looking at this side first. And then remembering what's the connection. Oh, that's right. If I see a limit as x approaches infinity, and that value is 3, that means that function has a horizontal asymptote of 3. Okay. Okay, you don't have to have questions in my room. You just have to have a willingness to raise your hand and say, I need clarification. I need to talk about it more. Whatever. Just speak up. Anybody? You good? Okay. Oh, please.
Why does that help us?
Perfect.
What does that help us?
2 points for Sydney. At this point, I don't know how it helps, honestly.
Oh, okay.
No, you're perfect. And that's exactly how you have to be thinking when you're taking the test. Is you're like, okay, I remember that from my flashcard, but why it helps, I'm not sure. Then I remember something. No, back up. Where it leads me to next, Sydney, is I say, okay, wait a minute. The limit of f is supposed to equal 3. Well, here's f. So we need another flashcard. Sorry, Sydney, I got a little sidetracked. We need a flashcard that says something like this. Now, this is kind of the strangest flashcard you'll ever make, but it is extremely helpful. In any AP problem, let me talk for a minute and I'll have you write it down. In any AP problem, when they ask you to find constants, like here they're asking you to identify the constants A and B. So when they say find a constant, let's do this. On one side of the card, write the words find a constant. 2 more for Sydney. These are not traditional flashcards. They're like custom designed to help you succeed on the AP test. Like I'm looking for little clues, Sydney, that trigger memories in my brain because I've done a lot more problems than you have. But if I can get your brain to trigger the same memory, then you can solve unknown problems just like I can solve unknown problems. Okay? It says find a constant. On the other side of the card, you're going to write ignore the constant. I know it sounds funny, huh? One side says find the constant, you turn over like, oh, the advice is to ignore the constant? Ignore the constant, do something familiar. I know that's a little weird. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay? Is that how you spell familiar? Thank you. Kylie suggests I'm good. Okay. Probably. So what I did, 2 more for Sydney. I got this from my flashcard memory. And I'm like, well, how does that help? Well, that's right. I'm supposed to find constants A and B. I'm going to ignore the constant. I'm going to do something else that is familiar to me. Well, I know how to find limits. So I'm just going to try and find limits and see what happens. Another huge clue to this class is to solve problems, you've got to set up equations. So knowing this, I can set up a brand new equation. I'm going to pay extra credit to every single person in the room who can tell me, knowing this, knowing the fact that I'm supposed to do something familiar, what equation can I write that might help me make some progress? I'll pay everybody, just raise your hand. Got one person. You just got to put the clues together. It says right here, the limit as x approaches infinity of f, it's got to be 3. I look at all the other clues on the board, I'm like, that's it, I can write an equation now. I can write a brand new equation that might help me. Okay? You're paying attention to equal sign. All you're doing is like what we're doing in Unit 2. You're saying, hey, this is equal to, these two things are equal, so I can swap them. That's all you're doing. You're just looking for things that are the same and you're putting them together. So we got about 4 of you. Looking for an equation that can be written using the clues on the board. Melissa, what do you think?
Is it to do x squared plus that equation equals 3?
Super close. Super close. 2 points. Get some more hands going here. Come on. This has to be true. The limit of f as x approaches infinity must equal 3. There's another equation I can write that's almost exactly the same as that, but it's just a little more detail that's going to help me. Ariana?
Is it the limit of it approaching infinity of the equation?
It's that whole idea of just take something out, put something in. See what I'm saying? So what you're going to do is f is this. So Arya is going to take F away and put this in the place of F. Because they're the same thing, therefore I can substitute them. We do that so much in this class. Get good at it. Like, talk to me until it feels really good to you that you can see those connections. Because it's going to happen over and over again all year long. So I write down the limit as x approaches infinity of ax squared plus 12 divided by x squared plus b, so x squared plus b, must equal 3. Okay, who knew that, had their hand raised before I said it? Show me. 2 points, okay. Oh, I don't see you in class very often. I sent out the text about extra credit. Many of you responded, so you get the extra 3 tickets for doing that. Whatever points you earn from this moment forward, you get to choose whether you would like to use them for Unit 1 or Unit 2. You want to use the points you earn from this moment forward for Unit 2, you just keep collecting them for Unit 2. If you want to use them for Unit 1, you keep collecting them until you're ready to turn them in, then you just send me another email saying, hey, I'm going to use these extra ones for Unit 1. So, questions? Okay, next thing. Once you write the equation, remember the flashcard. I'm supposed to do something familiar. Well, here's something familiar. You all know how to find limits. They do this all the time on the AP test. Instead of asking you to find the limit, they're asking you to find A and B. But we find A and B by just trying to find the limit, and then somehow A and B will appear. That should go in your flashcard. Somehow, you'll find the constant. I get that sounds stupid, but it's true. Ignore the constant, do something familiar, somehow the constant will just show up. Like, you do not pay attention to A and B. Just do something else, you'll suddenly know A and B. So points for the whole room. If I'm trying to do something familiar, which is find this limit, we need a flashcard. Grab another one. You need a limit flashcard. So on one side it says find a limit. On the other side, the very first thing you should be doing when finding a limit, let's check your memory. You should already know this because it was on the white sheet.
Ignore the limit.
Funny. 3 points for Parker. Oh yes, forgot to repeat the question. I forgot to repeat the jokes too. That would be good. Parker said ignore the limit. Okay, 3 points. 3 more for Parker. Good. Number 1, when you're finding a limit, what's the first thing you should be thinking of? Hands, come on. It's on your white sheet. You should have it memorized. Can't use the white sheet on the test. When you're finding a limit, what's the first thing you should be thinking of, Ilana? Is x approaching infinity? If yes, we compare terms it out. I'm going to pull up my sheet because I get tired of writing. Hands up if you knew that before she said it. 2 points, 3 for Ilana. Questions? Cool. Second thing is factor and divide. I'll just abbreviate. Factor and divide. 3 is you compare left and right limits. That's all on the white sheet. I think I have the white sheet still up here. No, I closed it. Let's go open it again. There it is. Limit flashcard right there. Okay, questions about the flashcard? So back to the problem. So there's our limit problem. Hands up if you know what to do. Come on. it's much better if you think with me. If you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. Like, there's no shame in not raising your hand. It's just best to raise your hand if you can participate. So now what? Let's go, Ellie.
So would you do like a over 1 and then like x squared over x squared because it's approaching infinity? So then the x squared would divide out.
I think you're a step ahead. Like, you're okay. 2 points for Ellie. We've got to do this. Like, we know that x is approaching infinity. So we're supposed to compare terms that are adding. So, hands up again. What do I do? So, Christine? So Christine said, I look and say, x squared is being added to b, x squared is being added to 12. So I've got this plus this, 2 points for Christine. Just say it out loud, which one dominates? X squared. So my next line can say x squared here. Don't forget to write equal 3. That's why I keep stressing you must have good notation. You must keep track of the equal sign. So we're keeping track of the equal sign. Hands up. What else can I write down? Come on. Think with me. This is not new. This is exactly Unit 1. We did this a whole bunch in Unit 1. Let's go, Brock.
The same thing to the bottom, because x squared is being added to b, right?
So x squared is being added to b. What do I conclude after looking at those two terms, Brock?
X squared dominates.
X squared dominates. Who knew it? Come on, hands. 2 points, 3 for Brock. We want to talk more about it until you're very comfortable. The key here is have the right flashcard memory and then get comfortable with the idea. If you don't have the flashcard memory, you're stuck. Like, you just can't do anything. Question? Cool. Okay. Next line. Just keep going. Remember, we're over here on this flashcard. We're doing something familiar. We're working on finding a limit. And we figure that somehow the constants are going to show up. Okay? So what's the next thing I write? Hands. Let's go, Caleb.
So the limit as x approaches infinity, you would do a over 1 times x squared over x squared equals 3.
Hands up. Who knew it? 2 points, 3 for Caleb. Now I can conclude when x gets really, really big, this will equal 1. But finding a limit means figure out what this equals when x approaches infinity. That's what it means to find a limit. Figure out what this will equal when x approaches infinity. I already know what this equals. It equals 3. Okay? The only way for that to equal 3 is, hey, look, it worked. I did not pay any attention to a, and I found a. A has to be 3. I promise that idea right here, this flashcard, will be used a ton this year. Okay? Probably should have emphasized it sooner. For whatever reason, it didn't occur to me earlier in the year. But anyway, questions? So we found A. And on this problem, that would get us to here. Okay. There's another big clue staring at you. What's the other clue that's staring at us? Like, we just look at the problem. Oh, wait a minute. They're telling me something else. What else are they telling you? Hands, come on. Let's go. Madison, please.
There's a vertical asymptote at 2.
And just make sure you say that with just a tiny bit more specificity. think is the right word, like a little more specific. So you would write on your paper, Madison, 3 points. F has vertical asymptote at x equal 2. Saying x equals important. So how many knew it? 2 points, 3 for Madison. The goal is to participate enough in retake prep that even if you're going to score better on the retake, but if you score like an 82, you'll have enough points to get you to an A. So just keep participating. Okay, that's the whole idea. Got out another flashcard. The other flashcard was on the white reference sheet, but that didn't quite work out how we hoped. So let's make it a flashcard. Your flashcard should show this. One side should say vertical asymptote. So I just abbreviate. An example is probably easier to remember. So let's just use this one. Vertical asymptote at x equal 2. Other side of the card has to say this. F of 2, meaning the value of the function when x is 2, will equal a number over 0. That's the flashcard memory you have to have. So succeeding on AP Calc questions is about making these connections. Please, Sydney, talk to me.
How do you know that it's going to be a number over 0?
Oh, 2 points for Sydney. Her question was, how do I know that it's number over 0? That's simply a definition. That's what vertical asymptote means. Yeah, so there's nothing really, how do I say, we could spend some time helping you see a connection, but I don't think it really helps for our class. Better just to say that's the definition, so I just memorize it. Good? Okay. But again, it's about connections. You look at the problem, and you say, oh, got it. F has a vertical asymptote at x equal 2. You observe that. There's no flashcard for that. You just look at the picture and notice. Then you have the flashcard memory. That's why I said you cannot prepare for this test by doing your flashcards the night before. You have to do them every single day from now until the time you retake. That's how you're going to get good on the retake. Because then the memories are like right there. You read the problem, you go, oh yeah, that means this. Then you remember that big idea I just said a minute ago. That means I can create some sort of equation that's going to help me. We have to create equations. Hands up, what equation can I write that puts all that together? Come on, you can do it. You look at the clues, you say, hey, this is telling me there's an equation I can create that corresponds to that clue. Just like we created this equation right here that corresponded to this clue. So what equation can I write down? More hands. Let's go, Daniel.
Limit at x approaches
2 points, but no worries. The horizontal asymptote, yeah, I don't really see a connection with limits. Like I saw the asymptote. I remembered my flashcard that said, hey, if there's a vertical asymptote at x equal 2, then the value of the function at x equal 2 will have to be some number over 0. Hands up. What do we got? Let's go, Maddie.
F of 2 equals, and since you know A, you can use 3. So you can just write the function, the equation again.
Tell me exactly what to write.
3 parentheses 2 squared.
I'm going to do one thing real quick. I got to remind them. The function is this. You've got it, Maddie. I got to write something down. The function is this. It's ax squared plus, what is it, Maddie? Help me.
12
X squared plus b.
over x squared.
Okay. Maddie's doing this perfectly. It's that idea again of using equality. What's equal to what? Well, you remember this with a flashcard. Then you say, wait a minute, here's my f. That means when I plug in 2 into f, when I plug 2 into this, I have to get this. you're just making those connections, so that's what Maddie did. She said I have A, but A is 3. So let's back up. Oh, I'm erasing the wrong thing. So A is 3. So I have 3, parenthesis, X is 2, squared, plus 12. Keep talking, Maddie.
Over 2 to the power of 2 plus 4.
Oh, we don't know B yet, so we just
Oh,
put
yeah.
B. Must equal. We've got to have an equation. Like this is an equation, but I got to have something over here. What goes here, Maddie?
Must equal number over 0.
There you go. 3 points for Maddie. Show me your hands if you would have said exactly what Maddie said. 2 more, okay. Talk to me if it's not clicking, if it's not really feeling like, this class is all about paying attention to your feelings. You have spent 12, I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Like I need to change, I told this joke before to other people, I need to change out the room, put in like big, nice, soft chairs, and just come in, the lights are low, there's soft music playing, we just talk about our feelings. Math feelings, but you know, so, until you feel good about it. I'm not kidding, you spent 12 years, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. Most of the classes you have taken for 12 years involve simply memorizing and then regurgitating what you memorized. Ella's going like this, so she's going to be a Sterling Scholar, so she knows what she's talking about. Okay. This class is different. Like I can give you the flashcards, and that's the memory part, but you've got to get your brain to make the connections. And that's what's going to help you tremendously in college, because they're going to force you to do the same. There's going to be some classes where you just memorize, but there's going to be the ones you really care about, like for your major, they're going to make you make connections. Okay? Questions? So you guys get me all fired up. That tells me what to do next. Hands, come on, make a connection. Look at that. Remember what equal means. These two things must be equal. Looking at that, hands up. Come on, what connection can you make? From just staring at that thing, you can make a connection. Georgia?
We're gonna have the bottom equal 0. It doesn't really matter what the top is right now, because right now it looks like a number. And we could figure that out, but it doesn't really matter.
Keep going.
So 2 squared is 4 plus b, and negative 2 equals 0, so b equals negative 7.
Okay. Sorry for those listening on the video. It's not easy to hear that. But what Georgia said was, really the connection I make is, the numerator is already a number. So that's easy. The denominator's got to be 0. Piece of cake. B is negative 4. Notice how my magic flashcard worked again. We didn't go solve for B. We just did some stuff and then suddenly we found B. That's how it always works. I don't know of any AP problems where they say solve a constant and you go solve it. You don't. You do other things and then suddenly like, oh, now I see it. Questions? Okay, on the retake, you will be tested on these flashcards. This one will show up again. They're not going to show up all in the same problem. That's why the flashcards, to me, are the best way to do it. You don't want to have a memory that says, well, I'm going to have a problem like this. That's unhelpful. You're going to have a problem where you need that flashcard. You'll have a problem where you need the limit flashcard. You'll have multiple problems where you'll need vertical asymptote flashcard. And then after that, it's just up to you to make the connection. Okay? But anytime you have a thought come to your mind, raise your hand, talk to me about it. You'll find yourself getting better and better at making connections. So, question? That was a fired up, exciting discussion. No one's quite as excited as I am, but whatever. Okay.